Tom Homer bursts through for a sensational score credit. Getty Images Bath director of rugby Todd Blackadder quipped last week that English rugby's West Country Derby felt bigger than Texas. A frenetic, fractured and occasionally feisty version of the fixture, which ended 43-20 to the visitors, certainly delivered huge entertainment and, typically, rendered recent form irrelevant. Blackadder's side had suffered 4 successive Premiership defeats before this game. Only a 4-try bonus point would salvage any hope of Champions Cup qualification for next season. It seemed a faint prospect, given their underwhelming performances of late, but they preyed on Gloucester's errors to plunder. 4 tries in the opening half, they finished up with 6 from 6 different scorers, including a stunning solo effort from fullback Tom Homer. Their first domestic triumph since February came comprehensively, by the end, a 23-point margin of victory, which confirmed Newcastle's progression to the playoffs, did not flatter Bath. There must have been a tinge of frustration that such a display, marrying defensive steel with attacking opportunism, arrived in their penultimate game of the domestic campaign. "It's been a tough month and this shows what we can do," Blackadder said afterwards. "It's a really good insight into the type of rugby we can play. Our challenge is to be consistent. We didn't want to go out there thinking we had nothing to lose, because that's the sort of language that sets you up to fail. This club badly needed it and our supporters badly needed it. We've still got a glimmer of hope of making top 6, so let's see what we can do if we perform again next week." Viva Premiership permutations, playoffs and Champions Cup. Bath punched holes in midfield from their very first line-out and stormed into the 22 through Gloucester-bound Matt Banahan. The dynamic Tom Dunn, very much in contention for one of England's hooker spots on June's tour of South Africa, followed up and capitalised on some passive defence from Gloucester to power over on the next phase. Just 72 seconds had elapsed. Anthony Paranese handed Gloucester an immediate chance to reply with a neck roll on counter-wrecking Lewis Ludlow from the restart. Ludlow latched onto a Ben Morgan offload to canter over soon afterwards. Wayne Barnes disallowed the score, penalising Ludlow for a double movement. At that stage, an electrical mix-up meant the referee's microphone was accidentally transmitting the officials' in-game explanations over the speakers. That one encouraged a few boos from home supporters. Reece Priestland then sent Francois Lou careering through the middle before collecting a return pass to dive over. The Welsh playmaker converted for a 14-0 lead, and a third Bath try followed quickly. Charlie Ewells, excellent until leaving the field 5 minutes before half-time, snaffled an errant pass from James Hansen and put Aled Brew clear. Jake Polidri's galloping run out wide allowed Ed Slater to pick an angle and score as Gloucester reduced the deficit to 21-10, but Homer's fantastic run restored Bath's cushion. When Gloucester wing Tom Marshall chipped downfield, Taulupe Falito gathered and linked with Con Foshuaye, who fed Homer on his own 10-meter line. The 28-year-old set off, weaving past opponents at speed. His intrepid run meant Bath were 26-13 in front at the break, 12-3's second penalty providing a shell-shocked Gloucester with something of a foothold. Priestland soon cancelled that out from the tee when the second half began. Homer's opposite number, Jason Woodward, personified an eventful afternoon. While he was arguably fortunate to escape a first-half yellow card after chasing his own chip and colliding with airborne Foshuaye, his evasion and distribution often sparked Gloucester. Indeed, Woodward slid over in the corner with half an hour remaining. 12-3's touchline conversion brought a throaty roar. Woodward had taken a supreme pass from replacement scrum half Ben Velicott, another man in the thoughts of Eddie Jones. It was not a match in which to dwell on moments of success, though. Velicott was bulldozed by Cubravuna within minutes as Bath scored their 5th try. Zach Mercer joining the fray was never going to calm things down, and the Bath back rower laid on some eye-catching link play late on. Gloucester tighthead John Afoa, off to Bristol this summer, joined us as well. He punctuated his final match at Kingsholm with a couple of lovely backhanded flicks before leaving to a standing ovation. Bath's 6th try arrived when James Wilson intercepted a speculative 12-3's pass inside the Gloucester 22. Blackadder's men can still secure a Champions Cup place if they beat relegated London Irish and other results fall kindly. For injuries and recent losses, that passage would have been far more straightforward. Gloucester's top 4 aspirations are all but over. That said, Kingsholm will almost certainly host Champions Cup rugby in 2018-19. For now, they have been stripped of local bragging rights. Head coach Johan Ackermann was stinging, yet denied that complacency had been a problem with a trip to Bilbao for the Challenge Cup final against Cardiff Blues on the horizon. If a team comes here they must fight harder for the victory, said the South African. We can't drop our standards every time we have a good result. The disappointing thing is we let the supporters down. We had everything to play for. We're not ready for playoffs. We have a lot to improve. First of all, we have to address the inconsistency and be more resilient when there are momentum swings. I'm happy with a lot of the growth in the team, but you can't drop your standards if you really want to be competitive. We'll keep on fighting till we get there.